Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glory to His confounded challenge, Divine Grace, the Prabhupada.
How are you doing, Prabhuji?
I'm fine, Prabhuji. Maharaj.
Where are others? Come in.
I guess so, Maharaj.
Huh? They are coming.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes. Madhuvan Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. You are welcome.
Thank you. Yes, okay. So what do we do? We start, huh? Do we start?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Vaibhava Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Go. Go.
Prabhu, please, can you put on a proper quota, please? Please, can you?
So, Sarka Prabhu, tomorrow we have a class again, 7:30, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Yeah, so I think did some of you were able to read verses 1 to 19, huh? I hope so.
Yes.
So let's begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanam Timradasya Jana Jana Salakaya Chakshominitam Nira Tasma Shivora Shri Chitanamano Vistam Tapitayana Bhuttale Yam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sampadadikam Vandyam Sri Guru Yuta Pada Kamalam Sri Guru Vasvam Cha Sirupam Sagajatam Ragunatam Tam Tajivam Savarutam Paritam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Srirara Krishna Paradaha Ganarati Nitakam Samanta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopikakan Taradakam Tanamo Sute Taptikana Gorangi Rade Brisavana Sware Brisavana Sute Devi Prana Mamere Priye Vanchakalpatanujasta Kripatanubhyavata Patitanam Pavanivyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthayabhutane Srimate Bhakti Gomintinamine Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Atmane Gaura Karuna Sakti Bhakti Krishnamine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthayabhutane Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Gomintinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Picharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pattatari Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivadari Gaur Bhaktapinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Mukam Kalativacharam Pangam Nagate Kirim Sri Patataha Vande Shri Gurum Dinatharanam. So, Bhakti Vaibhava class course, unit 2, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, conversation between Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. So we are on a new chapter, chapter 6, and you can check your handbook, page 26, page 26. You should have trimmed page 26. Yeah. So we have a preliminary self-studies. Always very important. When we start a new chapter, you should check the preliminary self-study. Help to understand the whole chapter. Yeah. So we have like 11 questions out there. Explain the process of Sat Dharma Picha. This day a question to Narada. Identify the import of Narada's mother being bitten by a serpent. What is the duty of a Paribhagacharya medicant? Describe Narada's experience during meditation. What general principle can be drawn from Narada's experience of unsuccessful endeavors? See the form of the Lord. Second time, what was Narada's material tent? Why did the Lord withdraw himself from the vision of Narada? Describe the life of a sincere devotee of the Lord as explained, exemplified by Narada. Describe Narada's transcendental body and activities. What is the effect of hearing from such an authority as Narada? Yeah. And also from this chapter, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 analogies of that. In verse 19, one analogy is there. On verse 27, one analogy is there. Actually, two analogies on verse 27. And verse 33, an analogy is there. And the last verse 35. Yeah. So on page 31, there is a need to learning objective. What is the objective of this learning we're doing now? Patana Ayo Janam. It says by the hand, page 31. Yes, 31. By the hand of the unit, students will be able to. So we are already in the chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5 now. Yeah. identify the principle from Narada's life to apply, can apply. Yeah. So check properly. Especially the preliminary self-study is very, very important. And also the analogies. Analogies, they always come during exam. And don't forget also, there is no memorized verse on this chapter. Only from the next chapter, we're going to have some few more verse to slokas to memorize. This chapter 6, there is no single verse to memorize. So I think there is a small break, huh? For the mind. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so let's go to first also the Prabhuji can show the screen on page 27. Page 27. Sorry. Yeah. So it is unit 2 overview. Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 1, chapter 6 overview. Ajaya Kata Shara. Yeah, go up. Yes. So Prabhuji, please read verses 1 to 19.
Hare
Please read.
Krishna.
Please read.
Vyasadeva inquires from Narada about how he passed his life after the departure of the sages. Narada describes that after his mother was bitten by a snake and died, he began traveling. He passed through many towns, villages, mines, agricultural lands, and natural forests, etc. Feeling tired, he bathed and drank water from a river. Then he sat beneath a banyan tree and began meditating on the Lord in the heart. The super soul appeared to him without delay, but then quickly disappeared. Despite his utmost endeavor, Narada could not see him again.
Yeah, so Madhuvan Prabhu, with the verses, the review of verse 26, 20 to 26.
Okay. 20 to 26, Maharaj. Okay. So, despite his grief, the Lord spoke to Narada, explaining that those who are not completely free from all material things can hardly see him. The Lord revealed that he has shown his form to Narada just to increase his desire to achieve him. After recounting his meeting with the Lord, Narada tells Vyasa how he spent the remainder of his life.
Yes. Okay, now I saw is Kamala Prabhu there. Can you read the review 27 to 38? Is not there. Then Isaac Nate. Isaac Nate is there. Okay, nobody is there. So let's read. Verse is 27 to 38. Narada described his change of body. Then his next verse as the great sage Narada. He can travel everywhere and restricted. He is a limited spaceman. Narada finishes his instruction to Vyasadeva. Sita Goswami then narrates the departure of Narada and glorifies him. Okay, thank you very much. So let's start the verses. Verse 1. Yes. Sutta uvacha evam visamya bhagavan vivarse janma karmacha bhuya pratyaktam bhavan yasaha satyavachi sutta. Translation. Sutta said, "O Brahmanas, this hearing is all about Sri Narada's birth and activities. Vyasadeva, incarnation of God, and the son of Satyavati, inquired as follows." Very short purport. Vyasadeva was inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradaji. Therefore, he wanted to know about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradaji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thoughts of separation from the Lord when it was very painful for him. Good. Text 2. Verse 2. Yes, Sarika Babu, read, please. Sarika Babu, can you read?
Vyasa uvacha Yaksubi vipravasite Vijnana desritistava Vatamano Vyasyadye Tatakim Akarud Bhavan. Sri Vyasadeva said, "What did you, Narada, do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth?" Purport. Vyasadeva himself was a disciple of Narada, and therefore it was natural to be anxious to hear what Narada did after his initiation from the spiritual masters. He wanted to follow in Narada's footsteps in order to attain to the same perfect stage of life. This desire to inquire from the spiritual master is an essential factor to the progressive path. This process is technically known as Sadharma Prisha.
So what is the meaning of Sadharma Pricha?
Follow in the footsteps of the previous spiritual master.
This desire to inquire from the master is an essential factor in the progressive path. This process is technically known as Sadharma Pricha. Okay. This can ask you on the exam. Now let's go. Verse 3. After yes, Madhuban Babu.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Satyambhuva kaya grisya patitam te param vaya katam chedam udasra si kale prapte kale varam. Translation. O son of Brahma, how do you pass your life after initiation? And how do you attain this body, having quit your old one in due course? The purport. Sri Narada Muni, in his previous life, was just an ordinary maid servant's son. So how he became so perfectly transformed into the spiritual body of eternal life, bliss, and knowledge was certainly important. Sri Vyasadeva desired him to disclose the facts for everyone's satisfaction.
Good. Verse 4.
I should continue.
Let someone else read. Kamala, who is there?
Okay.
Oh. Then, okay. Prakalpa Vishayam Metam Nitim Mune Satama Yesha Vyavasat Ala Sarava Nirakti. Oh, great case, time annihilates everything in due course. So how is that this subject matter which happened prior to this day of Brahma is still fresh in your memory and disturbed by time? So the verse 3 and 4, they are describe the questions that they asked to Narada. And in verse 4, the question is said that why that you everything is still fresh in the memory. It's like in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked, Krishna told Arjuna that I spoke the Bhagavad Gita 40 million years back to sun God. So Arjuna was confused that, hey, why that? You're practically the same, we are made, same age practically. How can you tell me that you spoke Bhagavad Gita 40 million years back? So Krishna told him, you are fable. I'm infable. You can forget that I never forget. Yeah, so, and in the purport it says that Narada Muni developed this spiritual consciousness even when he had his material body in the previous kalpa. It's like Bharat, the story of Bharat became a deer that he was still remembering his past life as a Brahman. So that helped him to be more serious, be careful in his next life as Dead Bharat. So when the consciousness is purified, you can remember things. Actually, in the previous ages, people were called Shrutidars. Means you can remember things from thousands of years. You don't forget. Because this type of people, we don't have them anymore in Kali Yuga. That's why yesterday foresaw this thing coming. So he divided the Vedas into 4. Your memory is not strong like before. That's 5. So, Sarika Babu, read the verse.
Sri Narada Huvacha Bhiksubi Vipravasite Vignana Desribi Mama Vatmano Vayasa Dyehe Tata Etat Akara Saham. Sri Narada Muni said, the great sages who had imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for other places, and I had to pass my life in this way. Purport. In his previous life, when Naraji was impregnated with spiritual knowledge, by the grace of these great sages, there was a tangible change in his life. Although he was only a boy of 5 years, that is an important symptom visible after initiation by the bona fide spiritual master. Actual association of devotees brings about a quick change in life for spiritual realization. Why is it so acted upon the previous life of Sri Narad Muni is described by and by in this chapter.
Yeah. The purpose is that is an important symptom visible after initiation by a bona fide master. Actual association of devotees brings about a quick change in life for spiritual realization. How it so acted on the previous life of Narada Muni. So here, it's mentioned that after initiation there should be a change in the association of the devotees, the spiritual master. That is the process. Sadhusanga, Sada, Sadhusanga, Janakriya, Narbanivritti, change, tangible change in our activity. Many of us, before joining ISKCON, were doing all kind of things, eating everything, smoking, drinking, doing so many things, abominable things. But as soon as we got in touch with the devotees, the Guru, the musician, at least the gross simple activities disappear from our life. So one time they asked Prabhupada in America, yes, Jesus Christ did some miracle. He walked on water. He transformed, fishes, bread into fishes. So many things he did. He died and he came up to life again. So, Swamiji, what can you do? Which miracle can you do? So, the Prabhupada said, see those young American boys. They have now 7 heads. Before they were having all kind of sinful lives. Now they have stopped everything. This is my magic. Transformation. Verse 6. Madhavan Babu, read.
Ekat majami janani yusin mudacha pinchari mayi atmaje maya gatu chakre hanu vandanam. Translation. I was the only son of my mother, who was not only a simple woman, but was a maid servant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. She bound me with a tie of affection.
Yeah, actually, verse 6 to 10, we describe the import of Narada's mother being bitten by a serpent. There is no purport. Let's move to next verse 7.
Okay. Can we continue with 7?
Yeah, read. Yeah.
Okay. Saswatam Strana Kalpasi Yogashne Nam Mame Chati Shasya Ivashe Luko Desa Garumayi Yata. Translation. She wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master.
So this is the word for word translation. The word. What is Do you remember this word Yoga Shema? This text and the scriptures. Do you remember this verse? This text, Yoga Shema. That is Bhagavad Gita 9:22. Yoga Shema Vamyaham. Protection from Krishna. Okay. Text 8. Yeah. Aham Kamakule Mutivam Tat Saya Vigdesha Kalabyu Mano Balakaponsha Ayana. When I was led child of 5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and had no experience of different lands. 9, verse 9. Prabhu.
Ekadam nigratam gehat duhantim nisidampati sarpodasat pada spritaha kripanam kala chodita. Once upon a time, my poor mother, when going out one night to meet a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent influenced by supreme time. Purpose. That is a way of dragging a sincere soul nearer to God. The poor boy was being looked after only by his affectionate mother, and yet the mother was taken from the world by the supreme will in order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord.
Yeah, so the verse is very small, but many things are there. See, my poor mother, let's stay on 9, verse 9. My poor mother was going out one night to milk a cow. She got bitten by a serpent by supreme time, influenced by the supreme time. It means that was arranged by Lord himself. Okay? That is the way of dragging, in the properties was mentioned. That is the way of dragging a sincere soul nearer to God in order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord. So in one verse, one verse in one of the small Bhagavatam, it was mentioned. I think that was the Dura discussion with Maitreya. It was mentioned the stem to set the body into fire. I mean,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Babu.
Hare Krishna.
I'm sorry, yeah. Sorry.
It's okay, Maharaj.
Yes, I was saying that this verse, although the purport is very short, but many things are there. The Krishna arranged that the mother of Nada got bitten by his serpent. That is the way of dragging a sincere soul nearer to God, in order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord. Yeah. So I was saying that there is one verse in the small bottom. That I think that was third canto discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. When Vidura was staying in the palace of Dhritarashtra, they were politicians. So one time Vidura was giving some advices to Dhritarashtra that your son is the cause of all this trouble. I told you in the beginning to get rid of him. Didn't listen to me. This is the situation now. So at that particular time, Vidura came in the room. So he heard what Vidura was saying. So he instructed Vidura by saying that who is this? Who allowed this son of Shudrani to come to the palace? Let's beat him until his last breath. So Vidur was really insulted by this statement of Jordan. So that at that point he dropped his quiver, everything, his arm and everything, and put it down in front of the door and left for pilgrimage. That is called set the body in the fire. Same thing also happened to Srila Prabhupada, when his wife exchanged his Bhagavatam with a cup of tea. That is the instruction that his Gurudev gave him 22 years ago. Still, he has not applied them. That's instruction. So when this incident happened, he said, yes, this is time for me to now decide to really follow the instruction of my Guru. So also the same thing in our life, and not until something very serious happens, we cannot really take our spiritual life very serious. We are a bit hesitant. And one verse also in the Bhagavatam, I don't know exactly what it is, Krishna says, when I love my devotee, I take everything from him. And not having any other source of shelter, he will be forced to surrender to me. You see? So this snake, that snake bite, it is an arrangement of Krishna. Yeah. First,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
yes.
Please, I have a question.
Yes.
Since Krishna wants to bless Narada, then killing the mother by a snake bite. I think snake bite is a very painful death. Why Krishna not kill her in another more easier way or subtle way?
Yeah.
Or is it a karma that has to go that way?
Yeah, there is no, see, Narada is a pure devotee. If you check in the verse, it was mentioned that she got bitten by the serpent, influenced by the supreme time. Just like, Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed by Sringi, the young Brahmana, to die in 7 days, was cursed to be bitten by a snake. That snake, Tatasha. Actually, eventually, he was really bitten by a snake. A snake of time. So it is not the karma, not the karma. That was prearranged by Krishna for his devotee to get closer to him. That was mentioned in Bhagavad now. Huh? That is the way of dragging a sincere soul nearer to God in order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord. So when we read further, we see that Narada Muni, when his mother got bitten by a snake, no money to do the rituals, cremation. So he set the small hut into fire. He just do the cremation because there's no brahmana. Even there is brahmana, you need to buy ghee, you need to buy special wood, you need to pay the brahmana dakshina. So Narada Muni 5 years old, nobody. So he has to set the hut into fire, and that's how he created the body of the mother. And no mother, nothing. So it was forced to move forward. Sometimes we got stuck in our devotional service. We got stuck in our comfortable zone. We don't want to move forward until we are pushed by force to move forward. Yeah, so it is not a question of karma. No, it is an arrangement of Krishna. Just like the Pandavas, they suffered a lot. Queen Kunti even was praying for more trouble. No. When we read the prayers of Queen Kunti, it's like she's crazy. No, she's not crazy. But this is the arrangement of Krishna. It is not a question of dying by a snake bite, or die by drowning in a river, or die by cancer. For devotee, living the body, the way of living the body is not important. But the consciousness is very much important. It's like our Gurudev. He has the opportunity, Bhakti Maharaj, he has the opportunity to leave the body in Mayapur or Vrindavan. His God brothers offer him that opportunity. He said, no. I want to leave my body in the midst of my disciples in America. America, I'm sorry, it's not the holy place. Okay? But he prefers to leave the body there. So dying, the way of dying is not the problem. How do you die? The consciousness on which you leave the body must be. Bhagavad Gita 8:5. Those who quit the body by thinking of me only, she said, will attain my nature. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, let's go on verse 10. Tatam aham istasya bhaktanam samvipasda anugraham vanyamana anugraham vanyamana atistam distam uttaram. Translation. Yeah. I took this as a special mercy of the Lord, who always desire benediction for his devotees. And so thinking, I accepted for the Lord. You see, this is why Narada Muni is saying here. Let's read the proper confidential devotees of the Lord. See every step in the direction of the Lord. What is considered to be unheard or difficult moment in the modern sense is accepted as spiritual mercy of the Lord. Mundane prosperity is a kind of material fever. And by the grace of the Lord, the temperature of this material fever is gradually diminished, and spiritual health is obtained step by step. Mundane people misunderstand. Yeah. Go to verse 11. 11.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In a follow-up to the question Madhavan Prabhu just asked,
Yes.
materially we consider good, bad, evil, good, high, low. In the same way, subject matter of death is very difficult for the mundane people to understand. And therefore, sometimes if certain kind of death is considered very painful, for example, if somebody falls from a plane and die, it's considered to be very bad.
Yes.
Or just like Narada. So one will now ask a question: is there anything like a bad or good death? Because the materialistic-minded person thinks that if somebody sleeps in the house and just die peacefully, in fact, the word peace is always added to it. He died very peacefully. So is there anything like good or bad death?
Yeah.
What is considered good, bad death or bad death?
Yeah. From the material angle, we can say good or bad because there is duality in the material sense. You know?
What is that?
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so in the material sense, we can, yes, karma is, we can say this bad death is good death. But for devotees, everything is transcendental. The most important thing is the consciousness. For instance, how can you imagine that the devotees of Krishna, you remember the story of in Africa here, Mother Alandini, you know? How can devotee got shot by gun? They were devotees. So we can say that they don't have good luck. They were disciples of our Gurudev. And we have instances of another devotee in Ghana. It was from Nigeria, but he was doing some service in Ghana and left the body. He got drowned in the river. I don't know if you remember. So yeah. Remember his name? What is his name? Long time, huh? The former wife, husband of the former husband of yeah. So he died in the river, got drowned. And the devotees, they took the river from Liberia, they took them to the seashore and just gone them. See? See, you can say it is bad death, but actually, see, one thing also we should understand, even when we become devotees, we still have some, unless we become pure devotees. Unless we become pure devotees, yeah, some little credits, debts to pay. But leaving the body by gun or by accident or by cancer or by, bitten by a snake, yes, for a devotee it doesn't matter because the consciousness is more important. But materially speaking, yes. If you die a certain way, your family members people will look at them that your son is not a good son because the way he died is not good. But do we have a proper way to die? That means to leave the body. Yeah? Do we have a proper way to die? No. Even our Gurudev, look at our Gurudev. I will leave the body. Cancer, when I'm put it, so many things. You can say. Look at
Tamakrishna Goswami.
Yes. Look at even one Guru Bhakti Damodara Swami in Calcutta was doing Jamaswami, and some people showed some bomb, in the temple. And so after that, he left the body. So many things like that. Look at Bhakti Charu Maharaj left the body, but it's COVID. Look at in Mayapur, our Pujari, one of them.
Can't agree.
Many examples. So Krishna.
So how do we relate that to Krishna saying that I shall protect you from all reactions? Because you just mentioned something very interesting, that sometimes we are not pure, but we know that the pure devotees are different. They don't have any karma. Their sinful activities have been removed by Krishna. And how do we relate this to Krishna saying Masucha, or where he told Arjuna, my devotee will never be vanquished? How do you?
Yeah, the devotee be vanquished means doesn't mean that your body will become eternal in the material world. What is special? You're not immortal. Krishna says, Masucha means, yes, I will protect you. It's called Yoga Shema. No, I will protect you, but I will take care of your soul, not your material body. The material body is a bag of bone and blood and mucus. Krishna does not protect our bag of bone. He protects Atma, the soul.
David.
Actually, there is one Mataji has the baby is disturbing, huh? Sorry. Yes, let's go on verse 11. Verse 11, please. Yeah, this is very nice. Oh, is that my place there? So Sarita Prabhu can read the verse.
Spitanjana padam statra pura grama vrajakaran Keta kalvata vatis chaha vanam me upavananecha. After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural land, valley, flower garden, nursery garden, and natural forest. Should I read the purport? Mass activity in agriculture, mining, farming, industries, gardening, etc. were all on the same scale as they are now, even previous to the present creation. And the same activities will remain as they are, even in the next creation. After many hundreds of millions of years, one creation is started by the law of nature, and the history of the universe repeats itself practically in the same way. The mundane wranglers waste time with archaeological excavations without searching into the vital necessities of life. After getting an impetus in spiritual life, Sri Narad Muni, even though a mere child, did not waste time for a single moment with economic development, although he passed towns and villages, mines and industries. He continually went on to progressive spiritual emancipation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the repetition of history which happened some hundreds of millions of years ago, as it is said herein. Only the most important factors of history are picked up to be recorded in this transcendental literature.
Yeah. This verse is important. After his departure, Narada Muni passes through flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, mines, agriculture, land, villages, valleys, flower gardens. But the point is that he didn't get any attraction for the gold mine. Yeah. So you can say that he was really focused. His mother cut fishing by his leg, then took the direction of the north.
Where's the machine?
And that reminds us on the one verse, Bhagavad Gita 241. Ya Vasikatmi Kabodi. Kia Kurunandana. He focused. If Karika Prabhu can get this verse, no? 241. Bhagavad Gita.
I'm opening it.
Yeah, we should be focused in our activities, not divert our attention. But even our mind has many branches. Bhusaka. If we are Kurunandana, having focused on one goal, then having a man with many branches. That story, Dronacharya and his disciples.
Don't spend the whole years there. Already, all activities of the day has already been scotched now. So we go and come back fast. When you
There is a Yadasvita Buddhi, Ikya Purunandana, Bhusaka, Ananyascha, Buddhayo, Devasaitinam. Those, translation? Please show the translation. Yeah, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Guru, the intelligence of those who are resolute, is many branches. Yeah, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and the aim is one. So Nagamani has a business, to achieve the supreme presence of God. So it was not disturbed, it was not distracted by those things, And again, Krishna promised, because he knew very well that by focusing on Krishna only, you can get what you want. Krishna promised in Bhagavad Gita 9:22. He was saying Yoga Kshema, are those who worship me without any other distraction. I carry what they lack and not preserve what they have. Krishna promised that. You carry what we lack and he will preserve what we have. Yeah. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. If you want Krishna to appear quick, fast, then you have to do that. So Nagamani was not interested in this mind, gold, so many things, Because there is one danger, the last trap of Maya in our devotion endeavor. There are three: Pratishta, Puja, and Lava. If you read the book, Madhurya Kanabini, get the book, or you can also get the book of, the teaching of Gurudev, Sri Gurudev on Madhurya Kanabini. The last trap of Maya, Pratishta, Puja, and Lava. Pratishta means, to try to enjoy the facilities in the material environment. Pratishta. Puja means to have the tendency to be worshipped. Yes, I'm a senior devotee. I stayed 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 1,000 years in ISKCON. You don't know? You don't know me? Puja. Then Laba means to try to find some position in the spiritual environment. We need position to secure our position, because that's why the materialistic people want position, do whatever they want. So Nardamuni is showing an example here that we should not be distracted by what we see here and there in our devotional endeavor. Text 12. Yes. Please read that, Salika Prabhu.
Chitradatu Vishitradrihin Irba Bhagna Buja Druman Jalasayan Shiva Jalam Nalini Surasevita Chitra Swanai Patra Rate Vibrahimad Brahmarasriya. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and through tracts of land with reservoir of water filled with beautiful lotus flower, fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds.
Okay. That's 13.
And 13. Nalaveno sasrastamba kusaki chaka garvaram eka evatyato ham adraksham vipina mahat goram praktibaya karam vyalok lukasivajiram. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboos, reeds, chopped grass, wheats, and creeps, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals. Should we read the purport?
Yes, read some part of the
Purport. It is the duty of a mendicant, Parivjakacharya, to experience all varieties of God's creation by traveling alone through all forests, hills, towns, villages, etc. To gain faith in God and strength of mind, as well as to enlighten the inhabitants with the message of God. A science is duty bound to take all these risks without fear. And the most typical sannyasi of the present age is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who traveled in the same manner through the central Indian jungles, enlightening even the tigers, bears, snakes, deer, elephants, and many other jungle animals. In this age of Kali, sannyasas is forbidden for ordinary men. One who changes his dress to make propaganda is a different man from the original ideal sannyasa. One should, however, take the vow to stop social intercourse completely and devote life exclusively to the service of the Lord. The change of dress is only a formality. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not accept the name of a sannyasi. And in this age of Kali, the so-called sannyasis should not change their former names, following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, devotional service of hearing and repeating the holy names of the Lord is strongly recommended. And one who takes the vow of renunciation of family life need not imitate the Parivakacharya like Narada or Lord Chaitanya, but may sit down at home, may sit down at some holy place and devote his whole time an energy to hear and repeatedly chant the holy scriptures left by the great acharyas like the says Goswamis of Vrindavan.
Yeah, this verse is expressing the duty of Vaibhava. Yeah, Vaibhava. And I mentioned anything on sannyasis and like that. So, do anybody knows the reason why you say that the sannyasa is forbidden in Kali Yuga? We have 4 or 5 things forbidden in Kali Yuga. One of them is taking sannyasa in Kali Yuga. So why are we taking sannyasa? What you know the reason? Velika Prabhu? I know one day you become sannyasa.
For preaching purpose.
For us?
Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasi not because of the sannyasi ashram, but for the purpose of preaching, so that because naturally people respect sannyas order.
Yeah, it is said that it is forbidden in Kali Yuga because we have some kind of sannyasis. They get the dress and the dada just become beggars. They move from one house to another, one city to a city, just beg food. They don't work. They don't preach at all. This type of sannyasa is forbidden. Yes, text 14. Madhuva Babu, can you read?
I should still read.
Madhuva Babu is there? Oh, it's gone.
Madhuva, yes, Madhuva Prabhu left. Kamalacha Prabhu and Isaac Nati is here.
Kamala Prabhu is there? Can you read? Yeah, he's not there. So go on, please go on.
Parisratendriyatmaham trit parito bubusksitaha snatva pitva radhe nadya upas pristo gatasrama. Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. Short purpose. We should go to next step.
Every purpose is very short. You can read.
Text 15. Tasmin rimanuje ranye pipalo pasta asrita atmanatmana atmastam yatasrutam ashentayam. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the supersoul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from liberated souls.
Yes, Papa.
One should not meditate according to one's personal whims. One should know perfectly well from the authoritative sources of scriptures through the transparent medium of a bona fide spiritual master, and by proper use of one's trained intelligence for meditating upon the super soul dwelling within every living being. This consciousness is firmly developed by a devotee who has rendered loving service unto the Lord by carrying out the orders of the spiritual master. Sri Naradji contacted bona fide spiritual masters, served them sincerely, and got enlightenment rightly. Thus, he began to meditate.
Yeah. The verse there after that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an inhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from the meditation. Intelligence is very important here because actually the words what we are doing now is purifying the intelligence. Reading is a tapasya for the mind and the intelligence. Because in Bhagavad Gita, from chapter 3, from text 36 to 41, Arjuna asked the question to Krishna, what is pushing people to commit sin as if they were forced to do so? And Krishna mentioned that yes, it is lost because of that. And that loss is residing in two places: the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. So if you use our intelligence to meditate, then loss get out from our intelligence. If you use our mind to think of Krishna, then loss will disappear. If you use our senses, serve Krishna, then loss can disappear. Verse 15.
I think Prabhu Kamalasha is ready to read now. His speaker is on. It's unmuted. Kamalasha, Prabhu, please go ahead and read. No, we are reading text 16, Prabhu. We are reading text number 16.
16, okay. Yo yasta charana bhujam bodhva nijata chetasa anukanta shru kalakshasya rida asmi sanahari. Translation.
Yes. Let's go on.
As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed with transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart.
You see, as soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of God, my mind transformed in transcendental love. Tears rolled down my eyes. And without delay, the personality of God, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. There are a lot of things in the. Please read the first paragraph of the purport. Please go ahead, read the first paragraph of the purport. Kamala Prabhu is there? Oh.
Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yep.
The word Baba is significant here. The Baba stage of attaining after one has transcendental affection for the Lord. The first initial stage is called Shada, or a linking to the Supreme Lord. And in order to receive that linking, one has to associate with pure devotee of the Lord. The first stage is to practically prescribe rules and regulations of devotional service. This were
Okay. Yeah. Next one is the word Baba. The word Baba is significant here. This Baba stage is attained after one has transcendental affection for the Lord. The first initial stage is called Shraddha, or licking or a liking for Supreme Lord. See, the Baba actually, when we check our Yoga Ladha in our Bhakti Shastri, we read Bhakti Shastri, right? So we have Yoga Ladha. So, Shraddha till Prema. So how and when do we get to Baba? We start from Shraddha. Shraddha brings us to Carudesna means, and next level is Bhajana Kriya, in spiritual activities. Then after that, Sadhusanga Bhajana Kriya means, then you come to the level of Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti, in all our anarthas disappear. Change, there is transformation, both in mind and physically, everything. Then after that, we become fixed, nishta. And when we become fixed, and we continue practice, then we develop some taste. It's called ruchi. When we continue, then again we come to the level of Shakti. Shakti means we become attached to the service of the Lord, become attached to devotion service, become attached to reading, become attached to doing japa, become attached to worship, become attached as Shakti. Then after Shakti, then we come to the level of Bhava. Actually, we have 3 stages of Bhava. Yeah. So this Bhava stage, when you read the Nectar of Devotion, is explained there. The Bhava stage is attained after one as transcendental affection for the Lord. The first stage is called Shraddha. When the Nectar of Devotion, first to develop Bhava means first the heart becomes very soft and it starts manifesting different tastes or desires. The heart becomes very soft. The secondly, and finally, Krishna transfers his mercy to that heart, to the heart of the devotee, and awake the dormant love of God. So love of God is sleeping dormant in our heart. So when we keep on practicing seriously, and we get to the level of Bhava, then at the first stage of Bhava, then our heart becomes very soft, and Krishna can transfer. Because if I want to transfer you, if I want to transfer you some money from every course here, at least you need to have an account, all right?
Exactly.
And you need to have an account. So if Krishna wants to transfer Prema Bhakti in our heart, we need to have a heart ready for that. That is Bhava. And that Bhava is very, very important. And actually, from Bhava, then we can say, yes, I'm starting devotion service from Bhava. At Bhava level, very, very important. And at that point, tears come out from our heart. What do we read from Saka 6? Nanam gala sudara varanam gadgarahuda gira ulake nisab kada tava grama namai bakshati. When I went to have shed tears when I chant in the holy name, when my hair would stood up on my body, when my voice would choke when I chant the holy name, when I'm going to cry. So Srila Prabhupada said, actually, you should all try to cry for Krishna. But if you cannot cry, then we should cry that we cannot cry. At least we can do that. We should cry when we chant the Maha Mantra. If we cannot cry, then we should go in our room, lock ourselves and cry like, wow, I cannot cry for the holy name. Huh? Yes. So Muni was in pure love of Krishna, so was shedding tears. Bhava stage. Chapter 17. Verse 17.
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah. Please read.
Premati bara neribina pula kango tirinebrita ananda samplave lino ho napasyam ubayam mune. O Vyasadeva, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord.
Yes, Prophet.
Spiritual feelings of happiness and intense ecstasies have no mundane comparison. Therefore, it is very difficult to give expression to such feelings. We can just have a glimpse of such ecstasy in the words of Sri Narad Muni. Each and every part of the body or senses has its particular function. After seeing the Lord, all the senses became fully awakened to render service unto the Lord, because in the liberated state, the senses are fully efficient in serving the Lord. As such, in that transcendental ecstasy, it so happened that the senses became separately enlivened to serve the Lord. This being so, Narad Muni lost himself in seeing both himself and the Lord simultaneously.
Yeah. So yes, different spiritual feelings of happiness and intense ecstasy have no mundane comparison. So even the same metta devotion, it is called something called, it's called Shaya Bhakti or Pratimba. Baba means to develop some symptom of pure love of God. Something can appear, something can manifest as Baba, but it's not Baba. It's like we have gold and we have artificial, we have plate gold. So the real gold, we have the hard gold. Baba is there, the pure love of God, and also can have Sahaja, especially. You can pretend as if they have pure love of God. You can see many of them in Vrindavan, in holy dance. Verse 19 and 18.
18.
Yes.
Rupam Bhagavato Yatan Mana Kantam Suchafaham Apasyam Saaso Taastehe Vaiklavya Durmana Iva. The transcendental form of the Lord as it is satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed, as is unusual when one loses that which is desirable.
Yeah. So these what is he saying that I suddenly got up, being perturbed, as is usual when one loses that which is desirable. So when Krishna appeared in the purport, if you read the purport, you see that Krishna appeared in the heart of Radhamani and disappeared. Then from verse 18 to 20, he will describe what are the general principle you can learn from Narada's experience of unsuccessful endeavor to see the Lord again for the second time. See, first when Radhamani started beginning his meditation, quickly Krishna appeared on the lotus of his heart. But not quite long, Krishna disappeared. And Radhamani again tried very hard. He tried very hard to see the Lord, but it was not possible. So verse 18 to 20 we describe why at the second time Radhamani failed to see the Lord. Let's go on verse 19.
Continue reading.
Yes, yes.
Bidriksustad aambuya pranidaya manoridi vikshamanopi na paasyaham avitripta ivatura. I desire to see again that transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempts to concentrate upon the art with eagerness to view the form again, I could not see him anymore. And thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved.
Yes, please read the purpose.
But there is no mechanical process to see the form of the Lord. It completely depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. We cannot demand the Lord to be present before our vision, just as we cannot demand the sun to rise whenever we like. The sun rises out of his own accord, so also the Lord is pleased to be present out of his causeless mercy. One should simply await the opportune moment and go on discharging his prescribed duty in devotional service of the Lord. Nard Muni thought that the Lord could be seen again by the same mechanical process which was successful in the first attempt. But in spite of his utmost endeavor, he could not make the second attempt successful. The Lord is completely independent of all obligations. He can simply be bound up by the tie of unalloyed devotion, nor is he visible or perceivable by our material senses. When he pleases, being satisfied with the sincere attempt of devotion and service, depending completely on the mercy of the Lord, then he may be seen out of his own accord.
Yes, there are many different type of yoga system in the world now. So we can give us an example of a mechanical process of seeing God. Because this time, the purpose said that I desire to see again that form of the Lord, but despite my attempts, I could not see him anymore. There is no mechanical process to see the form of the Lord. It completely depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. We cannot demand the Lord to be present before our vision. So the Prabhupada always recommends us that don't try to see God. Make sure you are seen. God will see you by your devotional activities. That's the process. So you have different yoga system, mechanical process to attain perfection. They will make a circle and they will make one just in the middle of the circle. They will meditate for 2-3 hours, fixing the mind on that black dot. But after 2-3 hours, when that one is no more there, what do you do with your mind? But Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, they say that we have to fix our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Because the mind, if you detach your mind from material sense objects, it's fine. And if you don't fix the senses on the lotus feet of Krishna, then at the point the mind or the senses will ask us, well, we are not more fixed on the material object, but what next? Understand? So there is no mechanical process. And the yogis, they leave the city, they go to the forest, they stay in a cave, because the tangas, living in the city, the senses will be contaminated. No, the devotees, they use the senses to please Rishikesha. Rishikesha, the master of senses. We don't deny the senses. The senses are there, but we have to purify the senses by using them in the service of Krishna, not a mechanical and artificial method. Yeah. So actually, verse 20 is connected to 19. If you like, you can read that. Otherwise, we are finished for today. And let's read the last verse 20. And tomorrow, and tomorrow we can finish next one. Tomorrow we'll finish everything. Chapter.
Text number 20. Evam yatantam vijanehe mam agocharo ogiram gambira slaknas ya facha saucha prasamaya eva. Seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the personality of God, who is transcendental to all mundane descriptions, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing word just to mitigate my grief. Purport. In the Vedas, it is said that God is beyond the approach of mundane words and intelligence. And yet, by his costless mercy, one can have suitable senses to hear him or to speak to him. This is the Lord's inconceivable energy. One upon whom his mercy is bestowed can hear him. The Lord was much pleased with Narada Muni, and therefore the necessary strength was invested in him so that he could hear the Lord. It is not, however, possible for others to perceive directly the touch of the Supreme Lord during the probationary stage of revelative devotion and service. It was a special gift for Narada when he had the pleasing words of the Lord. The feelings of separation were to some extent mitigated. A devotee in love with God feels always the pangs of separation and is therefore always enwrapped in transcendental ecstasy.
Yeah, so Dadamuni says that seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the person of God, who is transcendental to all mundane description, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words just to mitigate my grief. Yeah, the purport is mentioned that in the Vedas, if you say that God is beyond the approach of mundane words and intelligence. Krishna's name is Adoksaja, beyond mind, senses, and intelligence. Yet, it is by his causeless mercy one can have suitable senses to hear him or speak to him. Yes, Metta devotion. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi. Our senses are contaminated, our material senses. You know? But when you use those senses constantly in devotion service, these senses become purified and they form the name, the activities, the entourage of the Lord will naturally manifest. Not artificially. One time they asked Prabhupada, can we do japa and putting one Krishna's picture in like Radha Krishna, any form of Krishna, any picture of Krishna in front of us and doing japa? The Prabhupada said, yes. You see, if your mind is not, Malika Babu, are you there? So one time they asked, Prabhupada asked him, is it good to put a picture in front of us when we are doing japa? So Prabhupada said, look, don't try that, because if your mind is not trained enough, if you like, can put a golden picture of Krishna, the mind will go where it belongs. But if you don't put anything in front of you, and you are chanting real Sudanam, you are concentrating on the holy name, you are chanting pure name of Krishna, then the mind itself will go and find Krishna and Radha and begin come and fix in front of you in your mind. But if you put a picture and your mind is not trained, then that picture will cannot do anything. Yeah. So that is the story of also the Sashigopal. You know, the Brahmana and the young Brahmana, the old Brahmana, arguments. The old Brahmana promised his daughter to the young Brahmana. When you get the village, the old Brahmana now refused to give. So they say, yeah, you forgot that we with sword in the front of the deities. And they say, okay, let's go. When they went to the deities, the young Brahman said, deity, dear Krishna, this old man is deceiving me. He promised something and is not ready to give now. Please, let's go and witness. Then the deity said that I cannot walk. The young Brahmana said, what? If you can sleep, then you can walk. But the Bhagavad is mentioned there. See? Yes. And yet, by the cause of mercy, one can have suitable senses to hear him or to speak to him. We can speak to Krishna. Okay. Thank you very much. So from tomorrow we read again verse 22, 38. So tomorrow we will finish this chapter 6.
So, Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for the class. We appreciate your time and the story. Hare Krishna. Vanchakarpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Sevascha Patitanam Paveshnabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. His Holiness Bhakti Carudesna Swami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
See you tomorrow, huh?
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Very much.